Good morning, students. I am a student teacher of FY from Arihant College of Education. Thanks to New Life School, which has given opportunity for making this video for subject science, standard 8th unit force and pressure. Myself, Kalyani Kumari. Students, today we are going to start with a very interesting topic. So before starting the topic, I will ask some question to you. So watch this picture carefully because on the basis of this picture, I will ask some question to you. So watch this carefully. Okay, seen a student? Okay. Let's move towards the question. What are those things which you have seen in the picture? What are those things which you have seen in the picture? Different types of vehicles. Yes, you all are thinking the same. We have seen different types of vehicles. What are the name of those vehicles? Give some name of vehicles which you have seen in the previous slide. Think. Okay. Car, truck, bus, etc. Good. See here, students, see this picture carefully. Next question will be on the basis of this picture. If a car does not start with self, what do we do? What do we do, a student? What the man is doing here? We push it to a certain distance. We push it to a certain distance. Have you seen ever? See this picture. What the boy is doing here? What the boy is doing? Okay, let's see the answer. He is pulling the rope. He is pulling the rope. To push and to pull an object, what do we apply? To push and to pull an object, what do we apply? Force. We apply force by pushing and pulling. Okay? You all are thinking the same? Very good. What is force? Let's recall, a student. What is force? The answer which has appeared on the screen, you all are thinking the same? Let's see. Yes, you all are right. A push or a pull of an object is called force. And it has some types. So, in today's class, we are going to learn about types of forces. A variety of force types are placed into two broad categories of forces. These are contact and non-contact force. A variety of force comes under these two forces, contact and non-contact. We can see here in contact force, frictional force, muscular force, and in non-contact force, gravitational force, electrostatic force, and magnetic force. Many more forces also comes under these two forces. So in today we will learn about these forces one by one. First is contact force, a force which can be exerted by an object on another object only through physical touching. If both the objects are in physical touching, then it is called contact force. See this picture, students. The this football and the foot of the boy were both were in the contact with each other. So when he has kicked the football, it has moved away. He is applying a force by physical touching, so it comes under contact force. Now in this picture you can also see the girl is applying force on the door. She is applying force on the door. So these two are also in physical touching, physical contact. So it is also a type of contact force. Examples of contact force: muscular force, frictional force. Muscular force and frictional force are example of contact force. Let's see one by one both the forces. Muscular force. It is applied to object with the help of our muscle. It is applied to objects with the help of our muscles. Example of muscular force is lifting, pushing, pulling, etc. You can see in this picture, this boy is carrying books in his hand. He is applying muscular force over the books. And here you can see this boy is walking on the ground. So here also the contraction and relaxation of his muscle is taking place when he is walking on the ground. So he is also applying muscular force while walking. Here you can see these oxes are carrying these loads. They are applying muscular force to carrying these loads from one place to another place. Now, student, tell me what kind of force does a coolie exert when he lifts luggage? What kind of force? You can see here the picture. What kind of force does a coolie exert when he lifts luggage? Think. Okay. This is muscular force. So they work very hard. We should respect them on and their work also. Frictional force. Now we will see frictional force, the force which opposes the motion. If motion is taking place and the force which is opposing the motion of an object is called frictional force. Let's see. Example of frictional force: walking on the ground, application of brake in the vehicles to stop it, rubbing hands, writing. See here, we will see some picture. Here you can see a student. We are able to write on the paper only due to frictional force. If there is a friction between paper and this pen, then we are able to write on the paper. If there is no friction between these two, then the pen will slip and we will not able to write on the paper. Next, see this. You can see here this man is applying force on this wooden block. He is pushing the wooden block while the ground is applying frictional force in opposite direction. This is the direction of motion and he is applying the ground is applying force in opposite direction to the motion. So it is also a case of frictional force. How frictional force is useful in our daily life? How frictional force is useful in our daily life? As we have seen in previous slide, tell me how. Okay, we are able to walk on the ground due to friction. Very good. Due to friction, we are able to write on the paper. So frictional force is helping us in writing, walking. We apply brake to stop car or any vehicles. Friction helps in stopping any car or any vehicles, because when we apply brake, then frictional force act between the tire and the road. Road is applying frictional force towards the tire, and so the vehicle stops and we stop our motion. Non-contact force. A force is applied between two objects even if the two objects are not in contact. Such a force is called non-contact force. A force is applied between two objects. For example, these two are objects, and a force is applying between these two, but these two are not in contact with each other. This type of force is called non-contact force, means both the objects are not in direct contact with each other. Examples of non-contact force: gravitational force, magnetic force, electrostatic force. Let's see how gravitational force, magnetic force and electrostatic force is a type of non-contact force. First, we will see magnetic force. Force exerted by magnet is called magnetic force. Force exerted by magnet is called magnetic force. Here you can see, students, this is a horseshoe type magnet and it has two poles, north pole and south pole. It attracts any magnetic material toward itself due to magnetic force. See, this is an activity in which you will take a beaker, a tray, and you will fill water into it, and two rectangular shape bottles, and you will tightly close the mouth of these two bottles, and then you will paste this bar magnet over these two bottles. You can see here, student, this is north pole, because see here red color shows north pole and this blue one is showing south pole. So this is north pole, this is south pole, this is north pole and this is south pole. So this north pole will attract this south pole and this bottle will move towards this bottle. So these two are same poles or different pole. This is north pole and this is south pole. So these two poles are different. So these two will attract each other, means unlike poles attract each other. Unlike poles, north, south, these two are unlike poles. So these two will attract each other. So this bottle will move toward this bottle. Think, if here it is instead of south pole, if it is north pole, and here also it is north pole, then these two will not attract each other. This bottle will not move towards this bottle because the like poles repel each other. Now we will see gravitational force. Gravitational force is a force exerted by the earth on all objects on it. Gravitational force is a force exerted by the earth on all objects on it. See here, student, example: coconut is falling from the coconut tree. Why this coconut is falling on the ground only? Why it is not going upward? Because earth has gravitational force, and due to that gravitational force, earth is pulling coconut toward itself. It's earth gravitational force not only attract coconut, it attracts all the object which is on this earth. Now we will see electrostatic force. The electrostatic force is an attractive and repulsive force between particles are caused due to their electric charges. So now we will see an activity for this.
Okay, students. So now we will perform an activity to show electrostatic force. For this experiment, we will have need of a plastic comb, few pieces of paper, as I have made it. This is few pieces of paper. I have kept this in this plate. and try here. I will rub. First, see student, I am bringing this comb near these pieces of paper. Is it getting attracted towards the comb? Is it getting attracted towards the comb? No, student, it is not attracting. Comb is not attracting the pieces of paper. Now, I will rub this comb on my dry hair. See here, student, few pieces of paper has got attracted towards the comb. Guess what? A charge has developed over the comb. Initially, both the paper and the comb both were neutral. When I have rubbed this comb with my dry hair, some charge has developed over the comb. So comb is ready to attract these pieces of paper. So this experiment you can perform at your home also. This is very safe to perform. Okay.
Now we will see balance force. When two forces acting on object are equal in size. When two forces acting on an object are equal in size but act in opposite direction, then the forces are called balance force. You can see here a student. This is an example of tug of war. Here, this is these two are applying 5 newtons force and pulling toward itself, and these people are also applying 500 newton force. So in both the direction, the quantity of force, that is 500 and 500, are equal and both are in opposite direction. So the net effective force here is 0 because it will get cancelled out. These peoples are also applying 500 newton force, and these peoples are also applying 500 newton force. So the force are equal. So no net movement will take place because net effective force here it is 0. So it is an example of balance force. Unbalanced force. Now we will see unbalanced force when two forces acting on an object are not equal in size but acts in opposite direction. Then the force are called unbalanced force. It will be more clear with this. See, this picture shows what it is showing. These people are applying 500 newton force while these are applying 450 newton. So in this side 500 newton is more and here 450 is less. So in this tug of war they will win the match because they are applying more force, and they can pull the rope towards themselves. So it is an example of unbalanced force. Always think, in balance and unbalanced force will be act in opposite direction. If it is equal in size, then it will be balanced force. If it is unequal in size, then it will be unbalanced force. Now we will see inertia. The tendency of an object to remain in its existing state is called inertia. The tendency of an object to remain in its existing state is called inertia. As this text has moved and again has came into the same state. This is also they are remaining their existing state. So it is called inertia. Now we will see types of inertia. First is inertia of the state of rest. Second is inertia of motion. Third is directional inertia. So, students see here inertia of the state of rest. If an object is in the state of rest, can't change its state due to its inherent property. Means inertia of rest states that if a body is in rest, it will remain in rest. It will remain in rest. It will not change its position. It will maintain its state of rest. So we will see an activity how it is working.
Okay, students. So now we are going to perform an activity to show inertia of rest. For this activity, we will have need of a glass, a cardboard, and a coin. I have taken a 5 rupees coin. You may take any of the coin which you have. For this experiment, I will put this glass over this table. Now I will put this cardboard over this glass. Then I will put this 5 rupees coin on this cardboard. See here, student. Now both are in the rest. This coin and the cardboard both are in the rest. Now I am going to apply a force over this cardboard. What has happened, students? What has happened? The coin has fallen down into the glass. Means you can see here initially both were in rest, but now when I have applied force over the cardboard, the coin has fallen down into the glass and the cardboard has gone away. This shows initially both were in the rest, but when I have applied force over cardboard, cardboard has came in motion while the coin was maintaining its position of rest, its state of rest as it was initially. So it has fallen down into the glass. Students, you can perform this activity at your home also. It is
Now, tell me, why does it happens if a stationary bus suddenly speeds up? Passengers are thrown in the backward direction. Why does it happens if a stationary bus suddenly speeds up? Passengers are thrown in backward direction. Because the answer is because initially the whole body of a passenger inside the bus was in a state of rest. Whole body was in rest position as the car was in a stationary state. But when the bus suddenly speeds up, this bus suddenly speeds up. The lower half of the passenger body comes in motion. Lower half comes in motion, but the upper half still remain at rest due to inertia of rest. Hence, the passengers are thrown backward when a stationary bus suddenly speeds up. Now we will see an activity. Hang a see here first. First, I'm drawing this. Okay. So, now see here. Hang a half kg mass to a stand. This is a half kg mass. I have hung this mass with this stand. The another string tie another string to the mass and keep it hanging. First, this string is the first string. This string is the first string. It is tied with this half kg mass and this string is tied with the stand. Now we will tie string 2 to this mass and keep it hanging. Now pull the string 2 with a jerk. We will pull this string with a jerk. The string 2 breaks. It will get break down. But the mass does not fall because this mass is hanging to is this string. Pull the string slowly. In another case, you will pull this string slowly. The string 1 breaks and the mass fall down. When the string 1 will break down, the mass will fall down because, due to Gravitational force, if it will break down, then it will fall downward. This is because of the tension developed in the spring too due to mass. Tension is also a type of force which develop in rope, cable, because in downward gravitational force is acting, and in upward tension force is working. So anything which we hang, it remain in that position, because in upward direction tension force is applying, and in downward direction gravitational force is applying. When this till the time when these two are balanced, then the object will be in a stationary position. If the gravitational force will be more, then the mass will fall down towards the ground. Now we will see inertia of motion, the inherent property of an object due to which its state of motion can't change. A state of motion can't change means if a body is in motion, it will remain in motion. It will not change itself. Example of inertia of motion, man in space, because in space they are always in motion in the absence of gravitational force. Satellite in space, there is no other force is acting over the man satellite in the space, so they are always in motion. Directional inertia, the inherent property of an object due to which an object can't change the direction of its motion. Means, first we have seen a state of inertia of a state of rest, means if an object is in rest, it will remain in rest. In second case, we have seen inertia of motion. If an object is in motion, it will continue in motion. And third case, this is directional inertia, the inherent property of an object due to which an object can't change the direction of its motion. If something is moving in this direction, it will want to move in this direction only. It will not change its direction until an external force works on it. Example, if a vehicle, any vehicle is in motion along a straight line, it is going in a straight line, suddenly turns, the passenger sitting in it are thrown opposite to the direction of turning. If it is a vehicle, for example, if it is a vehicle, it is going in a straight line and a passenger is sitting over here. If vehicle is moving in this direction, passenger will fall down in this direction due to inertia of direction. So, in today's class, we have learned about types of forces. In next class, we will learn about pressure and its types. So, now we will recap whatever we have learned. What is contact force? A student, recall what is contact force? A force in which two objects are physically touching each other. What is inertia? The tendency of a body to remain in existing state. Think, a student, this question. Name different types of inertia we have learned earlier. Okay. Inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and directional inertia. This is the link of for application question. I have given in the description box also. This link is given in the description box. So fill the Google form and submit to me. Now, homework. Learn the types of forces. Learn inertia and its types. Thank you, students.